Let's talk the club. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the club. Woo!
Hey everybody, it's Cutler here in the Let's Talk the Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk the Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk Cutler YouTube channel, and just the platform, the 1800 seconds that we spend together. And I don't know about you, but I'm so glad for this opportunity. I'm thankful for this opportunity. It's the 18th of July, and on the 18th, I get to share another 1800 seconds. So come on in and join the chat and let me know where you're joining from and tell me how things are going for you. It's another Tuesday. We're getting ready to do this thing. We're getting ready to spend about 1800 seconds together. And just in case somebody's stopping by for the first time, if you're stopping by for the first time, I just need to address you and let you know that you're not going to hear any bad news. You're not going to hear any pessimism. You're not going to hear any negativity. But this station, this channel, this platform, this time is about building ourselves up. It is about exchanging nuggets. It's about sharing nuggets. It's about inspiration and motivation and trying to do what we do to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations, trying to make sure that I examine myself where I am in this moment. A lot of times we don't stop to examine ourselves in the moment, you all. Something just came to me when I said that. Sometimes you have to stop and examine yourself in the moment and be present with who you are and where you are and how you be and how you show up. And you have to ask yourself, compared to how I showed up yesterday, have I shown up better? Are there some facets and factors in my life today that are a little bit better than yesterday? And am I intentional and deliberate about trying to show up better tomorrow than I did today? Because it doesn't mean that today was a failure or a flop, but it means that I'm intentional about becoming better. I'm intentional about my evolution. I'm intentional about trying to recognize my successes. I'm intentional about trying to achieve my victories. I'm intentional about all of those things. So am I intentional and deliberate about trying to show? I want to be a better person as the days go by. I do. I don't want to become old and ornery and old and cantankerous and old. And I don't. I want to become a much more mellow, a much more wise person, a much more victory focused, a much more success driven. That's the kind of person I want to become. So I take all of this to heart. So when I talk about showing up better tomorrow than I did today, I really, really mean it. I take it to heart, and I hope you all do too. I think that's one of the reasons why we come together these 1800 seconds and we exchange this time. We talk and we do some soul searching, and we say, you know what? I really do want to be better. I want to be better, and I'm making the effort to be better. Because guess what, you all? Not everybody wants to be better. And if they don't want to be better, it's okay. Leave them alone. Let them be. Some people want to be better, while others just want to be bitter. But I want to be better. I really do. Have you ever met people who just want to be bitter? And the question is why? What kind of satisfaction do you derive from being bitter? What is going on? What do you get out of that? Haven't you met people who just they just want to be nasty? They're nasty for no reason. They really are. But let that not be our story. We don't want that to be named among us. No, not at all. So let's just focus on positive energy, positive efforts, wisdom, success, victories, and all of those things. Let's just focus on that. You're like let's see my background and my outfit. You also, I'll get to the conversation for tonight. But let me just go and invite people and say to them, if you're stopping by for the first time, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And once you subscribe, click on the notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've added new content. It lets you know whenever I've gone live. So make sure that you click on the subscribe button. You subscribe and then click that notification. And then come on over and join the chat and tell people, come on, let's talk to Cutler, because you all know, you all have been with me for quite a while. I'm a very transparent person. I'm a very human person, very down to earth person. And I like to talk about the things that we go through. It's not always very profound, it's not always very prolific, but I hope that they are real situations, real things that we talk about. And what you sometimes say in the chat motivates me. It challenges me. It gives me a reason to think. And when I ask you all to rate yourselves on different things, I go back and say, Cutler, how would you rate yourself on those things? So I enjoy the time that we spend and I spend together. And I appreciate you spending the time with me. I am at the end of a very busy day. I have been in front of the camera practically all day, starting very early this morning. And I don't know when the last time I actually sat in front of the camera in a white shirt and tie. Well, no, I don't. I don't. So today is an exception to the rule. I had lots of meetings, lots of video conferencing to do. And I've looked like this all day, so I thought, let me just catch up with my family and friends here this evening and do that. But in the middle of the day, at some point, I took a break and I read something that said patience, and it defined patience as calming down before blasting off. That's how patience was defined: calming down before blasting off. And then the allegorical piece to that was be patient so you won't become a patient. And I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to share that because there are some things that happen, and this is just Tuesday. There's some things that just happened this past Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Some things that just happened yesterday, and I don't know that it caused me to lose my patience, but it caused me to become frustrated. And in the midst of my frustration, I realized there were some things that I could not change. And I had to say to my sister-in-law, I'm really angry about this situation, but you know what? I realized my anger is controlled because I can't change the situation. I can't change the situation. So I could have easily become flustered. I could have easily, flown off the handle, but I realized I couldn't change it. Couldn't change what was going on, and I had to speak myself into patience. I had to speak myself into not being anxious and not having anxiety, and that is about being present in the moment and having the sense of thought and the presence of thought. And I want to talk about that because sometimes we lose our patience. We lose our patience and it does not get us anywhere. And I want to talk about that. So thank you all. You like this new background and outfit. Well, the background is because I'm visiting relatives. The outfit again is because I've been in front of the camera all day today, dressed just like this, and didn't take the time to change, didn't make the time to change. But I want to ask you all to do me a favor, and I'll come to the chat in just a moment, and I'll recognize the LTTC VIPs, the top 3 people who went into the chat, and I'll call you out in just a moment. But do me a favor, rank yourselves on a scale. Y'all don't like this, do you? On a scale of 1 to 10, rank yourselves and tell me how patient you are, with 1 being poor, not patient at all, just Cutler, I don't have patience, and I just don't have patience at all. Or 10 being I'm very patient, I'm extremely patient. Give me an A+ in patience. I got some of my relatives walking in front of me. They're that way, you all. Talking about talking about a 1, talking about a 1. So you all tell me how you rank yourselves. Oh my goodness. You're not alone. Somebody just ranked herself as a 2. You all, I want to see these. In terms of patience, 1 means I'm not very patient at all. 10 means I'm extremely patient. And I'm just going to pause and wait because I want to see how you all are ranking yourselves. And I want to talk about that. I really, really do. I know I've talked about patience before, but there's something to be said about patience, you all. And it becomes this cliche. We talk about patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And a lot of times we say, I want to be patient. I want to learn how to become patient, and I want to learn right now. Well, what sense does that make? I want to become patient, and I want to learn patience right now. You all, come on, talk to me. I'm looking at these scores. Somebody said a 2. Lord help me. Somebody said a 3. Somebody said a 7. Somebody said a 4. Depends. Usually 8. But behind the thank Juanita. Things change when we get behind the steering wheel, don't they? You said it depends. Usually an 8, but behind the wheel, maybe a 4. I mean, there's something to be said about road rage. There's something to be said about strangers on the highway. And we just take things personally. Oh, she cut me off because she knew I was trying to get to that appointment on time. Oh, he saw me and he just gonna pull in my lane. We have a whole conversation with people who don't even think about us twice. I mean, the whole conversation. We see signal lights and we make up a whole conversation. We make up a whole story. We see brake lights and we just tell a whole narrative. But those people sometimes they're not even thinking about this. Let's see, McDonald's is 9. I have a lot of patience. I walk in nature every day to keep myself calm. Oh, good for you. Let's see, a 7, a 7-ish on a good day. Okay, all right. I see and I understand. And I want us to talk about that, you all. I want us to talk about what that means and talk about what it looks like and talk about how we feel. Let's see. Hold on. What was that last score? All right. And a couple of 7s and 8. All right. And I want us to think about what it means. Now, the last time we were here, again, let me just run to the chat really quick. Let's see who's over here with me, because I said I would acknowledge the LTTC VIPs, the people who just jumped into the chat before I did. They got there first. Now, on my end, you all, it looks like, let's see, the top 3 people that I see are Jet, Annie, and Linda. Thank you all for being the LTTC VIPs this evening. Thank you all so much. Let me just go on and talk about this whole thing when it comes to patience. So now, before we talked about how to care for me, we talked about self-love. So if you missed that, go back and catch it. But this time we're talking about how to be more patient. Patiently learning patience, because the quote that I read earlier today, it says, "Be patient so you won't become a patient." And it is so interesting. I find it so interesting that we can become a very impatient people. And you have to think about, I wonder why I'm impatient. What causes the lack of patience? Have you ever asked yourself that? And it's important to understand the root cause of impatience. And a lot of people, you are not alone. A lot of people feel impatient. I understand that there was a survey conducted, and about 45% of the millennials just said that they feel less patient than they did 5 years ago. Millennials. As time has moved on, they have become less patient. And what do they blame for this? Technology. Because they have come into the world in this age of technology where things just happen so quickly. And for some of us, we've gravitated toward this thing called instant gratification. And at the core of it is social media. It's people being able to have access to things so quickly and these quick fixes and getting stuff done, and the microwave here, and knowledge is available or information is available at your fingertips. And the more we crave or the more we flock to instant gratification and fast a transmission of news, we become less patient. And our brains get used to it. We get used to getting what we want, what we need quickly. And when we don't get it as fast, it's not so thrilling. Now, you can probably admit that the first time you used the internet and did a search and you found information, you found it quickly, it was thrilling. But guess what? Now you've gotten used to it. So when you go online and you start searching for stuff now, and it seems to take so long, it seems to take so slow. I mean, it takes so long and things go so slowly because you've gotten used to it, and your brain and your mind has gotten used to this instant gratification. So you're not thrilled about having to sit there for 3 seconds, because now I have to sit here for 3 seconds. Well, before technology came around, it took you 3 days to find the information. And when we don't receive our thrills, we become tired, we become irritable, we become impatient, and all of that. We've gotten spoiled by social media. We've gotten spoiled by technology being able to provide this stuff so quickly. And so, as B.B. King would say, the thrill is gone. Do y'all remember that song? The thrill is gone. The thrill of getting stuff so quickly, the thrill of having it at our fingertips, the thrill is gone. So now I sit there and the cursor is spooling, and I have to wait for 10 seconds. Now, once upon a time, it took me 10 days to do the research, and I went to the library. I was struggling trying to get there before the library closed. It took me 10 days. Now, if it takes me 10 seconds and the computer's spooling for 10 seconds, I'm flustered, I'm frustrated, I'm upset. My patience is gone out the window. 10 seconds? And people lose it. After 10 seconds, they lose it. So, social media is not the only culprit. We're just in this age when when we just have things available and we have these apps and we have all of this stuff. It's no wonder we're impatient because our culture and our technology teaches us to have no patience. Let me see what you all are saying in the chat because it is the truth. Technology. I'm sorry, I'm having been here while I'm having been some health issues right now. But now when I'm feeling better, I can come capture. Oh, listen, Jet. I'm so sorry that you haven't been feeling well, my friend. Please make sure that you take care of yourself. I'll make sure that I remember you in my thoughts and my prayers. I want you to feel better. I want you to be okay. So again, I will remember you in my thoughts and prayers. All right. But I want to go back to this whole notion of patience and where impatience comes from. And when we discover where impatience comes from, you all go with me in this conversation. When we discover where it comes from, we can do something about it. A lot of times people are impatient and they don't want to do anything about it. They think it's cute. They think it's nice. They think it brings them this attention. But there's nothing cute about being impatient. Have you ever been in the car with people, driving in the car with people, and they speed to get to a red traffic light? Where are you going? I'm guilty. Let me just say this. I'm guilty of that. I've been on the highway and cars were in front of me and they were going slow. I pull out, just go past them, speed along. And when I was speed along, get to the red traffic light. And guess what, y'all? I felt so ashamed because I looked to my left or to my right and there was the car that I just passed. Have you all ever done that? Speeding to get nowhere. And the car that you pass, the truck that you pass, the vehicle you pass pulls right up beside you. And then in my embarrassment, because now I'm having a whole conversation in my head, in my embarrassment, when the light changes, I press the accelerator and I take off. Impatience gets you nowhere. So let's talk about it. There has to be this call to action for those of us who are impatient. I've been so impatient that I would race the GPS. It's a shame. It's a shame. Racing the GPS, really in a hurry to get nowhere. And whenever I got to where I was going, nothing was going to change. There was no fire that I had to put out. Nobody was going to the emergency room. None of that was happening. So we have to learn how to handle impatience. And so I want to talk about that. Color, do you have any tips? Yeah, absolutely. And the rest of this 1800 seconds, I want to give some helpful hints about how to handle impatience. One of the ways that we can handle impatience is to be present in the moment and think about what's going on, because what happens when it comes to impatience, you become irritable. You can't do anything about some of the situations. You can't change it, and it just catches you off guard, and you realize I'm irritated, and now I'm trying to, let's see, I've experienced that in that traffic light same time. Absolutely, you get the traffic light at the same time. But in terms of how to handle impatience, how to learn patience, when you're having an irritating situation, ask yourself, why does this bother me? So when I say being present in the moment, ask yourself, why is this bothering me? And if you can identify the reason why something is bothering you, you can recast the issue. You can reframe the issue so it's not so upsetting. For example, think about this. If you have to wait for somebody who's running late, and they may be 10 or 15 minutes late, and you think about, why am I irritated? I'm irritated because I have to wait. That person is wasting my time. That person is not respecting my time. And so a lot of times when you get to the point and you realize, okay, now that I know why I'm upset, I know why I'm irritated, let me reframe it. Let me find some positivity in the moment. Maybe now I'll just take this 10 minutes and catch up on my emails. Maybe I'll take this time and text somebody that I told I was going to text, or reach out to somebody, or maybe I'll pick up the phone and call somebody that I haven't spoken with in a while. When you know why you are feeling the way you feel, reframe it in a way until it becomes positive. We don't always want to do that. I said to us before, those of us who are here, I said before that sometimes looking out for yourself requires doing the work. Do you just want to stay irritated? You're just upset now because they're 10 minutes late, they're 15 minutes late. And now that you know you can turn it into a positive situation, you're just gonna sit there irritated, upset, disgruntled, discombobulated, discontent, just diss everything. busted, disgusted, just everything. You're just gonna sit there and not turn your negative situation into a positive situation after we done had these 1800 seconds of how to handle it. All right. I just wanted to share that because many of the negative situations that we experience, y'all, we have the power to turn it into positivity. We really do. We have the power to turn it into positivity. And then I want to say this, one of the things that we have to do in not just reframing the moment that we're in, is to practice mindfulness. It's what I call examining your thoughts. I'm just trying to help us this evening. Learn how to examine your thoughts. Because if you are identifying your feelings and you're examining yourself and asking, I wonder why I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? Learn how to examine your thoughts. A lot of times we don't. We just act second nature and caught up in the moment. But Cutler, how do I examine my thoughts? You do something like close your eyes. You take a deep breath. And you examine your thoughts and your emotions. And when you examine your thoughts and your emotions and you name them and you say, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I'm processing these things. Learn how to examine your thoughts and give a language to how you feel about what you're going through. You can also learn how to show gratitude, or it's what I call exchanging anxiety for gratefulness. Because people who show gratitude, they tend to cope better. They cope better with life. Because so the next time you're frustrated, think about something that you're grateful for. We don't want to do that. But when you're frustrated, think about something that you're grateful for. Because we can't always control everything. We can't always change everything. But think about something that you have to be grateful for. You have the power to change your situation. It's about being mindful. It's about being present in the moment. And I promise you, it'll help you calm down. It'll help you be able to make better decisions. I hope that makes sense. And then you all, here's something that I had to do yesterday. I had to practice acceptance. Talk about handling anxiety. Talk about handling impatience. I had to do this. I had to practice acceptance, especially when you cannot change a situation. Sometimes, you all, there is nothing you can do to change a situation. Sometimes, let me say that again, sometimes there is nothing you can do to change a situation. And in those cases, impatience solves nothing. I'm getting ready for a high school class reunion and I'm coordinating. I'm the coordinator, the lead coordinator of this effort, of this endeavor. And I had ordered some items. Well, the vendor sent the items to the wrong address. Sent them to the wrong address. Now, I need these items by tomorrow. Yesterday, I got a notification that said the items had arrived. I walked outside, items hadn't arrived. I went back and looked at my email notification and I looked at the address where they sent them. Wrong address. I called the vendor. And the vendor went back, listened to the recording where I was on the line with the customer service rep and said, you know what, Mr. Cutler, you're absolutely right. They never clarified your mailing address. Now, I'm in the system. I had just ordered something 3 weeks ago from that same vendor. My address is on file, but they sent it to the wrong address. I need it tomorrow. They can't get it to me. The most they can do is offer me an apology, give me my money back, maybe even give me a credit. But that is not going to get me the items that I need, the items that I ordered, the items that I wanted. And I was just so upset. Couldn't do a thing about it. And what did I have to do? I had to practice acceptance. You all, I'm sharing that out of transparency and I'm being honest because a lot of times there are things that you can't do. There are situations that you can't do a thing about. There's situations that you cannot change. There's situations that you cannot alter. I appreciate that, Juanita. You said I'm going to be thankful tomorrow at work when my coworker gets my last 5 nerves. I will work on my patience and be thankful for those moments. Thank you for sharing that. And be thankful for those moments that present an opportunity for you to call on your character, for you to call on your integrity, for you to call on your inner strength, because sometimes muscles are not strengthened until we work them. The muscles, may your muscles of patience be strengthened. And may you be conscious and cognitive of the fact that you are strengthening your muscles of patience. You're right, McDonald. This is all about this piece about practicing acceptance. It is about accepting the things that you can't change and having the wisdom to know the difference. Know what you can and can't change. I could not change the fact that the vendor had sent those items to the wrong address. I could not change the fact that I need them by tomorrow and will not get them. I could not change all of that. So I was really angry. I was upset, but it was all controlled. And I said to my sister-in-law, I'm angry, but I guess now I'm practicing controlled anger because there's nothing that I can do. And what I realized was that, and we have to learn to be mindful. When I said really, really think, I have muscles of patience, Yvonne, that's absolutely right. The muscles of patience. It is my hope and my desire that that we are aware when the muscles of patience are being stretched. They have been, because sometimes you all, thank you, Yvonne. Sometimes when muscles are stretched, we become tired, we become irritable, we become a little sore. As it may be in our physical, may it also be metaphorically with patience. Sometimes we feel the fatigue of when people start getting on our nerves. We feel the fatigue of all of that, but it's just your muscles of patience being stretched. It's your muscles of patience being worked, and how you respond will determine whether or not you're going to be successful, victorious, or the opposite. How you respond to your muscles being stretched will determine whether or not you pass the test. It's up to you. It's up to us. And so I just want to say, and I know you all, I've got to get out of here, but let's learn. Let's learn to sometimes practice acceptance and be present in your thoughts. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? What can I do about it? Some things I just can't do anything about. I just got to accept it. And as I told you all, my sister-in-law said, yeah, you're practicing acceptance because you can't do anything about it. Your items didn't arrive. You can't do anything about it. So she really had to help me pivot and come up with another solution because I couldn't change that situation. And a lot of times, you all, there's another option available. You all know I come up here just being transparent. A lot of times there is another option available, but what do? We choose to live in that space of impatience. We choose to live in that space of frustration. We choose to live in that space of anger, and we choose to live in that space of throwing a temper tantrum like a 3-year-old when there's nothing we can do about it. But there is another option available so many times. And I hope we will learn to explore and examine those options. May your muscles of patience be stretched. And as your muscles of patience are stretched and as they become sore, you determine by how you respond whether or not you're going to be successful and pass the test. That's all I have to say this evening. Thank you all so much for sharing this time and space, whatever space you've allowed me to come into, your home, your living room, your dining room, your front porch, wherever you are, your car, if you're walking. Thank you all for sharing this space with me. But I might pick this up and see how you all are doing the next time I come up here and see if your patience got a little better, if you practice patience. So I'll check in with you all. But until then, do me a favor. Let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining a connectivity. Stay safe, stay sane, keep your heads up, but more importantly, keep your hopes up. And tell somebody the next time we're here, come on and let's talk the color. The man is trying to offer something to help save somebody's life. Please know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Thank you all. And until the next time, I don't know if I have a tie on when you all see me, but until the next time, take care and I'll see you when I see you. Good night.